So one day recently I grabbed my PS5 DualSense controller and I looked on the back of it and I realized, oh, it's getting a little nasty back here. Can you see it? Hey everyone, thanks so much for joining me. And in today's video, I want to share with you how to clean your PS5 DualSense controller. First, I want to talk about the easiest ways to get dirt, grime, and oil off of the back of your controller, as well as the buttons and joysticks. And then I want to go into some warning signs about things to avoid when cleaning your controller. As always, if you enjoy this video and find it helpful, please be sure to hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe so that you can always stay up to date on my latest helpful PlayStation videos just like these. Let's get right into it. So the first thing I want to talk about when cleaning your PlayStation 5 DualSense controller is large pieces of debris or dust that you may have gotten inside of the joysticks, the buttons, or along the backside of the controller, whether it's due to something on your hands or food that you've eaten or just debris nearby. The number one thing that I recommend for that is something like an air duster, and you want to make sure that you purge it ahead of time. Once you do that, you want to gently just go around the joystick part and the buttons, and anything where you see crevices where debris could get into, like dust or food particles. And you also want to look for any ports or triggers in case you might have any trigger jamming going on. I would definitely try the air duster technique, as that is something I always keep by me, and I try to make sure that I do it at least once a week or as much as possible, because a lot of the features on this controller are facing upwards where debris can fall down from above. Now, to tackle the second part where I showed you in the intro of this video about the nasty oil and grimy stuff that might come off your hands, the number one thing that I recommend is something like isopropyl alcohol or rubbing alcohol. And what I recommend you do is you either get like a soft cloth towel, like a microfiber cloth, a terry cloth is okay too, a cotton swab, and I also recommend a Q-tip. What's nice about that is if you use a Q-tip with that isopropyl alcohol, you just put a little dab of it on your Q-tip or towel or whatever, and you can just go gently inside of these crevices that you see that there might be any dirt or signs of dust that you may have missed from that air duster, or it's just not coming off for some reason. I did notice that when I was trying to use something like a soft cloth on the back of the controller, because there is this cool design on the back that allows you to grip it better, oil and dirt can get within the ridges here. And for that reason, I would use something like a real soft brush, like something you would find on like a old toothbrush you find laying around your house. Again, use that isopropyl alcohol, rubbing alcohol, and kind of just gently go in there and scrub it. Don't agitate it too hard though, because you don't want to discolor anything or create unnecessary wear and tear on your controller. What I always recommend when cleaning any electronic device, especially the PlayStation 5 DualSense controller, is to start with the very least aggressive approach first. And that's why I mentioned the air duster first and then the isopropyl alcohol. And you definitely want to avoid harsh cleaning chemicals like strong soap or bleach, because even though you would think that would be a good idea to use on a white piece of plastic to try and brighten it up a little bit, I strongly do not recommend it, because that can discolor and fade the coloring on the controller even though it's white, and it can lead to some really unnecessary wear and tear down the line. And you really want to be careful about getting harsh liquids within any crevices or gaps in the controller, because if you do, that can compromise some of the electronics that are within the controller itself. And it's also for that reason that I always avoid water or soapy water, because the more liquid cleaner that you use on something like a controller, the more chances that it could be that you would get it inside of the crevices of the controller and end up ruining some of the electronics inside. What I love about the rubbing alcohol is that it has an evaporative nature. So when you apply it on the controller, if you don't use too much, it should evaporate fairly quickly and much faster than water or soapy water itself. But just to make absolute sure, once I do a once over with the rubbing alcohol on the controller, I'll try and grab something like a microfiber towel or terry cloth that I have nearby and just wipe it a little bit and make sure that it's completely dry, so that there really is no chance that it makes its way inside the controller. I've been hearing quite a few people having some issues with potential stick drift with the DualSense controller for the PlayStation 5. I recently published a video, and I'll leave it up here and down in the description below, that talks about some tips that definitely help stick drift, as well as some helpful tips to make sure that your controller is always running brand new. So be sure to check out that video if you want to make sure that your controller is running absolutely tip-top shape. Once again, if you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, please let me know by dropping a like down below, and don't forget to subscribe so that you can always stay up to date on my latest helpful PlayStation videos just like these. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.